A new day, a new video, and Doug is here to introduce top 5 solo PvP meta builds for Corrupted Dungeon, which will make you rich in Albion Online. And here we are. Okay, here we are, and the first build that we want to introduce is Daybreaker, guys. Daybreaker with this variation in Corrupted Dungeon was a meta back in the day. After that, Corrupted Dungeon died, and I never seen anyone playing it until the patch dropped, and the Corrupted Dungeons are full of players right now. And you can play with each weapon as you want because it's really powerful, guys. Because it has damage, it has a purge on the E, it has a purge on the mage row, which is perfect, and it has soldier boot, which is going to increase your defense, and it is going to give you some heal, and you have guardian helmet, which is again a great defensive. For the cape, you can go with Avalonian cape, Thetford cape, or even some defense cape like Martlock. And you're going to use a Snapper, Clears a Snapper, which is a great food for Corrupted Dungeon. And for the potion, Gigantify potion, the healing potion are necessary to bring for yourself. And I will try to tell you how you can just play with this build. First of all, this is not a new player friendly build. You have to have some knowledge to play with this one. It is really a strong build, it is a strong setup for Corrupted Dungeon and a solid one. Let me tell you what are the basics of this build. First of all, because you have mage robe, you're going to have a lot of damage output. Look at this. With the Q, your DPS is 158 with low cooldown, and you're going to slow down the enemy with W. Look at this, 300 damage, proper setup, and the skill for this weapon and build. It is going to be like against kiters, you have to change to Frost Shield. Against kiters, you can still play with Impaler, but if the kiter has low amount of damage, and it is really annoying, you can just use Harpoon. Okay, against Fire Staff, you have to change to this one. Against Fire Staff, change to this one. And against Fire Staff, change to this one. If the enemy player is going to brawl with you and having a mercenary jacket or something that will make the fight longer than usual, you're going to need to change to Energizing Shield because it is going to give you some mana. It's really important because if you use Impaler in some fights, you're going to have a mana problem, which is important to change to Energizing Shield, which when you think that you're going to have a longer fight. Okay, it's really important. Look at this. It is going to drain a lot of mana if you just want to spam this. As you can see, your E is going to drain your mana. And you're using Frost Shield, which requires mana. It's really important. And your shield is going to... I didn't change. Yeah. That is, your shield is going to give you some mana back, which is important because it has low cooldown. Your Taproot is going to give you some, HP bonus, and your Snapper is going to do that. And because you have highly damage output, you're going to give yourself a lot of HP back with your Snapper. At the same time, you have Life Leech. Every auto attack is going to give you 15% based on your auto attack damage, but it's going to just get increased by your Q stacks. Every Q stack is going to increase your auto attack damage. Okay, look at this, 15, and it's going to be 18, 17, and that's it. As you can see, that's your auto attack from the passive. And if you get the Snapper, you're going to get more heal and more heal, which is perfect. And this is going to heal you, which is perfect.
This is Doc. Although he's a real doctor, but he's poor for now.
They ask you how you are, you just...
He posts daily videos and needs your help. Don't forget to subscribe and maybe buy 1 month membership on his channel. Or maybe donate him $100.
Here we are, and the old extraordinary meta is back because they buffed this Q, and you have a lot of damage right now with the Ray of Light, which you can use in Corrupted Dungeon, which is perfect. This normal bow was not meta because they just nerfed it a lot, but nowadays with multi-shot buff, which is huge, they just decrease the cooldown, and now you have a lot of damage output, and you can slow down the melee users, which are, most of the Corrupted Dungeon meta right now because of the Trinity Spears, one-shot meta, And I mean, a lot of these guys you can just see melee user, you can just kill them easily, which you are going to use it with a mercenary jacket that is going to just get you some sustain, soldier boots, and guardian helmet again, which is perfect for solo PvP, as you know, because you have a lot of shield against cursed staff. You have got a cleanse all damage over time effects, which is great against cursed staffs, against cursed skull, which you might see, against Trinity spear jump. You have this against dual sword jump, you have this, so it's really important. And you have soldier boot again because it is going to get your heal, and you have a snapper again, you have a giga potion and healing pot. You're going to use Thetford cape. The style of playing with this weapon is, I mean, you have two choices. If you're just playing against the melee user, you have to just play like this. If the melee user has low mobility, you can just go for this. And if the melee user is a weapon like, I don't know, maybe dual sword, maybe Tomb Hammer, maybe Great Hammer, you're going to use Frost Shard. It's really important because you have to kite them really well. So your Q is going to be like this. It is going to slow down the enemy in a cone-shaped, in front of you, and it is going to have a lot of damage output, as you can see. Your passive, which we just chose, is going to decrease the defense of the enemy by 2%. You can just stack it 4 times, I'm sorry. And your E is your main, damage output, because you can see you're going to enchant your arrows with more damage, and you have a dash after you just finish your first 5 arrows. You can dash toward a position, which is a great mobility ability for you. As you can see, you have 4 arrows, I'm sorry. And once you use that, you dash toward the enemy and you use 3 more arrows, which is perfect. And it has low cooldown. You can just use your Q to slow down an enemy. And your W, the Frost Shot, is going to slow down the enemy. You have a great mobility with that. And you have shield again. And you should use your E with your mercenary jacket, because the E is going to increase your auto attack damage and auto attack speed, which is perfect. And it is going to be a great combo with your mercenary jacket. And some things which might happen against some bow users, against, both battle and warbow, against the mirror matchup, don't forget to use deadly shot. Against fire staff, you can just use this setup, ray of light with deadly shot again, because you want to kite them. Against Cursed Skull, use this again. Against Dual Sword Trinity, don't forget to do this. And Tomb Hammer as well, because you will see a lot of them. And don't forget to use this. If you ever need any extra mana, don't forget to use Energizing Shield. This is a great build. The next build that I want to introduce is Dual Sword, guys. As you can see, Dual Sword was a great meta back in the days when they just changed it. And they added some great effects to the E, but they nerfed it a little bit. So nowadays it's a, proper weapon to play for solo players, but not, new players especially. This build is totally a new play friendly. You don't need to do anything. You have to just go inside the enemy and, just hope for a great setup, great start. But you have some things some tips and tricks to use to have a better results, better say. But the build is, dual sword for sure, mercenary jacket as well, guardian helmet, soldier boots, and you have to use first Q, first W, and it's my opinion, some players just love to use splitting slash, but because it's really hard for new players to hit this one, especially me, because of high ping that I have, I really suggest you to play with Blade Cyclone, because it is going to increase your damage and mobility at the same time. You have to use this last passive, but the first passive is kind of okay, but the last passive is going to make this weapon a little bit buggy. I can say OP, broken, insane, strong, which is perfect. You're going to use this setup of mercenary jacket and guardian helmet. These parts are for, more defenses, and you're going to use Thetford cape. And for the food, you're not going to use clear as a snapper. You're going to use normal as 2, tier 8, or tier 6, based on your budget. This weapon is mainly made to use your, E to jump on the enemy, then just do some damage. If you hit the enemy with your E, you're going to have a buff on your auto attacks. As you can see, you're going to get auto attack speed buff and auto attack damage buff, which is perfect. And your W is going to use one of your Q stacks, as you can see, and you're going to have more damage on your W. The combo of this build is like this, gets 3 buffs on your E. You're not going to get movement speed with your Q stacks, it is a buff. I mean, every time you hit your Q, you're going to get this buff, as you can see. But the Q stacks are going to get you the auto attack speed, and you're going to use it with your E, and you're not going to lose your Q stacks like other weapons when you use your E, and it's perfect. Look at this. Look at this. It is pure damage. It is pure damage, guys. It is pure damage. And the combo can be like this. You use your boost, you just use your E, and you use Q stacks, and I mean, get Q stacks, and the W at last. I mean, in the end. It is going to be great amount of damage. And yeah, Mercenary Jacket to use with your next E, and the Guardian Helmet, it is going to be perfect for more defenses against, I mean, all of the weapons. Just use it wisely, because it has a long cooldown, you cannot just use it again. It's really important. And if I didn't say, you have to use Tetrocade with this, and Stew, and Giga Potion and Healing Potion based on the, match. You don't have that much variety in there, using your skills, but against, Curse Staffs, you can use Parry Stock, but you have to time it very well, as you can see. You can see this. You have, 1 second to hit this, and you will just parry and just counter all of the damages, and he will take the damages. But not for the E of the Curse Staff, but for, the jump of the Dual Sword, you can just parry it very well. For the jump of the Trinity Spear, you can just do this. It's really important, against Trinity Spear. And if you time it very well, you can just, it is going to be a great ability. As you can see, you are going to reflect 125% of the incoming damage as magical damage, which is perfect, guys. But against most of the weapons and, matchups, you can use this, but against Fire Staff, Interrupt is your friend. Why? Because it is going to interrupt the spell casting on the enemies, which is going to interrupt the E of the Fire Staff, which is really important. Okay, the next weapon I just want to introduce, as you can see, is Fire Staff, which was my love, and I just maxed it out. As you can see, I have, let me show you, Fire Staff. 100 on Fire Staff, 100 Gary Fire Staff, about 100 on the White Fire, and 100 Blazing, and this is all of my stats. As you can see, I just spec'd up Fire Staff because back in the days it was really good, but they nerfed it a little bit, so nowadays I can say among all other weapons, it's a good choice for new players and solo PvP players to have at least one-handed Fire Staff at maximum spec. 100, I can say. Don't just do it for 120, but it is good. It's a good setup. It's a good build. As you can see, we will use Mage Rogue, we will use Soldier Boots, we will use Hunter Hood for more defenses. You can use Guardian Helmet too, but Hunter Hood is more favorable against some builds. And you can use Fire Staff. Yeah, you can just tap root. And for the cape, Marslot Cape or Limhurst Cape are the best. Okay? Marslot or Limhurst. If you feel you need mana, go for Limhurst. If you need more defense, go for Marslot. It's your choice. And for the food, you can use snapper. Roasted snapper. This. Or omelet. Tier 7. It is going to increase your cast time. Cast rate. Well, for your E, you have more cast rates. On your Q, you have lower cooldowns, you have more mobility. If you want to use omelet, for tankiness, more tankiness, you can use clear snapper, or you can just have both. Against kiters, you can just change to this one and fight them with this W and just kill the kiters with omelet. And against, some builds that will brawl you, like Trinity Spear, like Dual Sword, you can just change to this one and just use the Snapper. That's the, great game plan that you can have. Giga Potion and Healing Potion at the same time, you have to use them. And the game plan for this build is kite, guys. Don't go and brawl with the enemy. You have to do this all the time. You have to do this. You have to just escape from the enemy all the time and use the W to use it either on the enemy for more damage or escape from the enemy if he's just rushing at you. The E is great at full damage and full cast. It is going to interrupt the spell casting. It is going to knock back the enemy. But most of the time, you have to just use it, with the minimum amount of the, spell casting, with using your E and the left click at the same time. Just do it. You use E and just press the left click fast as possible. It is going to fast cast it, and you have you will have the lowest amount of damage, but it is going to be great because they cannot deflect it with Hunter Hood or even W on the Trinity and the Spears. Because, I mean, deflect is your main enemy. Just keep this in mind. And against Kiters, you have to change to this one. You have to just maintain this one. Against Trinity Spear, I really love to just kinda brawl with them and use your Mage Robe when they jump on you because you want to perish the Q stacks. Use your Hunter Hood when they exactly are jumping on you because you want to deflect the damage on the E because it has a lot of damage. And you want to switch the passive to this one to have fast cooldown every 4 spells cast. As you can see, let me just show it to you. That's it. 2, 3, 4. Wow, bam. That's it. That's going to be a great amount of damage. And you're going to cancel their W. The Trinity is your main issue, guys, with the Fire Staff. You can cancel their deflecting spin, the reflect on the W with this. If you just go to them and just use it against them, you're going to just make them veer away from the W and they will be interrupted. And you can use your E at the same time that you're just getting feared by your W. And that's perfect. The game setup against all of the other beasts, it's going to be like this. You have to kite them very well. And this is a really easy weapon. If you just play it right, you can have a 70 or to 80% of win rates and you can just go cheap with it. How much is this? You have to go with 4.2, I know it, but it is going to be 250k of worth of silver, and it is really pretty strong. The last but not least weapon and build I want to introduce, which is the most used weapon right now in Albion Online in Corrupted Dungeon, which is really powerful, is Trinity Spear. With this current setup, you can delete most of the enemies, as you can see. This on the Q, this on the W, except against Fire Staff you have to change to deflecting spin, and all of the setups will just remain the same against all of the builds. Your Q stacks, as you can see, it is going to increase your auto attack range. Look at this range, look at this, look at the range, what the hell. And your auto attack damage is going to be huge. How much? 150 every Q stack, 150 every auto attack damage on Q stacks. And by the way, keep this in mind, every time that you cast it again on 3 Q stacks, you're going to lose some mana. And if you spam it, you're going to lose too much mana. So be careful not to spam it off cooldown. Lose it wisely. And your W is your main damage, it's perfect. And your auto attack, look at this. Look at this, it's pure damage. And your E is going to increase your movement speed and auto attack speed at the same time. Look at this. Look at this. And you're going to just root the enemy with your E. You're going to just root him. And you're going to deal a lot of damage at the impact of your E, which is perfect. Just don't forget to stack your Q even at the, middle of your jump. After you jump, so you don't lose your damage. Your enemy is purging. Your enemy is Mage Robe. So be careful about getting purged. Don't use your Cleric Robe into purge. Don't use your Hunter Hood into purge. And be careful. If you got purged, just get out of the fight a little bit. Just get your Q stacks back and just get back. You can use Cleric Robe into your E, tank off some of the damage with your Giga Potion and even the Hunter Hood. And don't forget to use Thetford Cave, that is going to be extra damage and you can just destroy the enemy, guys. This is really simple. Playing with Trinity requires some tactics, but it's really simple. Against Kiters, I really prefer to change to Frost Shield because it is going to slow down the enemy and it deflects some damage. It is going to increase your damage resistance. But all the time, you're going to go with the same strategy, except as I said, deflect is against Fire Staffs and Great Frost. Great Frost, use your deflecting spin. You're just going to just destroy him. So that's it, guys, for our video. It was some of our viewers' suggestion in the comment section. They wanted top 5 meta builds for Corrupted Dungeons that you can use. Hope you enjoyed watching this video and learned something. Thank you.